All right, so we're going to be breaking down last night again. I'm going to kind of always pick these up from where I left them off. At some point, my guitar skills will be good enough that, we'll get through a song every single time, but maybe we won't. And you can pick it up wherever you want to. So just kind of use this again as a practice in getting, treat this as a little bit of a warm up. So we're going to get that metronome on going at 42 BPM and just kind of get a groove going and get our guitar skills warmed up and going. One and two and three and... Okay, so kind of get in the groove, the idea of the song. Now we're going to break down this. And we're going to do the same thing, but we're only going to go one and two. One and two. And then we'll add that slide in after that. One and two. So one thing I want to think about as I'm doing that, because if you watch the earlier videos, it's very easy for me to rush that slide. One and two and. It's got to be on the and. One and two and three. Okay. So let's try that. So all of them being on the offbeat like that is what's tricky for me. One and two and three and four and let's actually do that. And four and at this slow tempo, I think that'll be good. So we're picking up on the 5 on the end of 4 or the end of 3. And my camera does not want to stay focused. Three and four and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 3 and 4 and I wonder if I can fix a couple problems at once. So 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 3. But I wonder if I make 3 a slide. So it's 3 and 4 and 3. This might be a bad idea. 3 and 4 and... So I'm just going to worry about getting that 7. I'm not going to worry about doing a slide into it, because I feel like if I train myself to do a ghost note slide, that's what I'm going to end up doing in the actual recording. 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 3. Even that's messing me up. 3 and 4 and 3 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and... Now you kind of see, I don't know what fingers I'm actually using. And the part's not hard enough that I have to think too much about it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and is probably what I'll end up doing. Yeah, I instead of me playing it poorly over and over again like that, and wrong. Let's keep this slow thing going. So where I had problems before is especially at this tempo, 42 BPM, which is slow. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and not rushing that 9. So let's see if I need to have the whole measure kind of queued up, but I'm only going to do the slide to 9 for now. And 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 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 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and rushed it. 1 and 2 and 3 rushed. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and try to put it all together, and it failed. Much like keeping my camera in focus is failing. For some reason, it likes to lose. But I did it once, and I want to try to get to the point where I can do it on that loop. So I might focus more on just getting that 9 slide with that 7 on the 3, and then slowly putting that 5, 4, 5 in. And 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 So it's coming along. Is it coming along perfect? No, but it's moving. It's moving. So I'm gonna do a couple more of those, and yeah, we'll go from there. So I think I need to process in my own head. So I think what I need to do is do more of the 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. And then do the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So going back and forth between those two patterns. And 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. There we go. So you can hear when I rush it, I have too much space between that and the 3, right? So it's just everything that we're listening for, especially for somebody like me who's not good at playing on the offbeat. This is just a harder exercise or a harder song for me to play well. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You can hear just the huge difference between those. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Lost it in my brain. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I mean, you can hear the huge difference between when I think about counting it and when I don't, and how much I just slay in a bad way, slay that rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and. Yep. All right, let me tune that third string a minute. All right, a couple more, and then we can put these two measures together. Let's just start moving it up though. Let's go up by 6, so 48. So starting with just to the 9, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and now with the 7. 4 and 4 and wrong. Just don't hit the slide again a second time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and minus the slide into the riff. Terrible. Get back into my groove. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and all right, let's put that together with the first part of the riff. So we got. Then one of the things that I'm thinking about right away is I got this C major 7 shape, even though it's a C chord in the song. So C, D, and then just kind of going to this pattern here, this shape here. See, I like to rush that 0. Not much better. Good try. All right, let's do it with metronome because I'm not hearing it well. So keep it at that 48 BPM and just go from there. So just need to hear that better. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and So I'm kind of picking my battles. I'm trying to figure out fingering. I don't love it when I go. Also, let me just start from the beginning of what I'm thinking about. So it's supposed to ring out. I mean, John even wrote that on the tab. Let ring out per discretion. So I feel like that's very natural. You like hearing that E in the bottom while you're going, right? But all of a sudden, since I didn't really, I kind of maybe practice it more, which is fine too. So I guess what was bothering me is probably not an accurate thing to worry about. See, I like to do that though. If I keep this down, is what I like to do instead. It should be more natural sounding, and it wasn't as I was running through it. Again, at 48 BPM, it's kind of structurally trying to break it down. It makes sense that it did not sound very smooth. And then I don't like ending with that. I'd much rather go. So just gonna have to play with it and see how I want to get back into that. As soon as I get more comfortable with the riff, I'll start messing around. Try not to do that while I'm doing this video because, well, no, I mean I will, but make sure I have it first. Otherwise, I kind of start playing everywhere, and it doesn't help you guys. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. And 2 and 3 and 4 and... Also, I'm making a couple of extra mistakes because I'm thinking too hard at this point. A couple of these things that I'm worried about will disappear as soon as we get up to like 90 BPM. You know, you're not going to hear that I left this B, or I left my ring finger picked up when we're going at 102 BPM. So I'm being picky. It's good to be picky. Also, pick your battles as you're being picky. All right, I'm going to do... let's do a couple more of these, then I'm going to move to Atomic City. Some good stuff, some bad stuff. I'm going to switch guitars a minute. Atomic City's in standard tuning. This one is tuned down a half step. in my own practice, which this is my own practice, want to try to keep hitting the ideas as often as possible. And as I say that, I have not played guitar in 2 days, or not practiced. I've played, taught. But my excuse that I'm making is I've not worked on Atomic City since I've done it last in a live video. So things might be a little rough. But that's also why I want to make sure I hit it today before it totally leaves my brain. So it's swung. We have a lot of triplets, and we're going slow. So skank strum is the other thing. So it's 1 and triplet. So let's hear how slow 60 BPM is. Nice and slow. 1 and triplet, 2 and triplet. Let's do everything a minute as swung eighth notes. And 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and... Okay, so let's jump to this next one, and this might be all I have time for today. Actually, let's do this one where it's triplet. We start with our first one down, and then it's triplet up, and then triplet down, and triplet up, and then I'll get my camera to come back into focus, hopefully, and something I need to fix. Triplet, triplet. Do not know why it doesn't want to stay in focus. Usually, if it can see your skin, so down, up, down, up. Triplet, triplet. So feeling pretty good about that. So I think via the time I have, I just call it for today. Via my camera not being in focus, I call it really the second I'm about to quit. It's kind of where my energy's at right now, though. So I will pick this up I will start with this next time I do a live, and try to get these tempos a little bit faster. But that gives you some stuff to work on between Atomic City and Last Night. Two very different songs, and a little bit of a gear shift for my brain even to jump between each. But that's good. They'll make me more of a versatile player down the road.